But before I get started, I just want to thank those of my friends who showed up today.
Amen.
I appreciate you coming, and I'm so good. I hope you come back again.
Amen.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just elated that you came. I am so glad.
Amen.
My sermon will come from Isaiah 11, 1 through 10, and Psalms 72, 1 through 7, 18 and 19. I will also touch on Romans 15, 4 through 13, as well as Matthews 3, 1 through 12. I just feel that for you to really get what God is telling us, just a little from all these areas must be spoken on.
Amen.
I'll start with Isaiah. In Isaiah, we will start with verse 11, 1 through 4. And it says, "A shot shall come out from the stump of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots." Verse 2, "The Spirit of the Lord shall rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord." Verse 3, "His delight shall be in the fear of the Lord. He shall not judge but what his eyes see, or decide by what his ears hear. But with righteousness he shall judge the poor and decide what equities for the meek of the earth. He shall strike the earth with the rod of his mouth and with the breath of his lips. He shall kill the wicked." With that being read, the title of this sermon will be, wait for it, "Naked Will You Follow God?"
Amen.
I say, naked will you follow God.
Amen.
In Isaiah's time, the Lord gave visions to the prophets. We know that Isaiah was the naked prophet. His vision was that the Messiah, the Prince, would rise out of David's house in due time. Now, note that David was also seen naked, running around the kingdom.
Yes.
What had happened was when David came back, he wanted to bless his house, and he would get naked and run around praising the Lord. Now, that's David. It is said he shall be excellent and gracious. The word of next door, which is referred to in Matthew 2 and 23, where it is said by the prophet that he shall be called a Nazarene.
Amen.
This branch should rise from Jesse. He shall be the son of David, with whom the covenant of royalty was made, and to whom it was promised with an oath that of the fruits of his loins God would rise for Christ, and David is often called the son of Jesse.
Amen.
So as you can see, Jesse is playing a part in the birth of Christ through his son David. Christ is called so because he was to be not only the son of David, but David himself.
Amen.
Amen.
He was said to come out of Jesse rather than David because Jesse lived and died in meanness and obscurity. His family was of small account. In other words, a lot of people didn't know about Jesse because Jesse wasn't exciting man. I mean, everybody, even though Jesse was a religious man, a lot of people didn't know Jesse had so many sons. He was said in his family small, and it was in a way of contempt and reproach that David was sometimes called the son of Jesse.
Yes.
1 Samuel 2:22-7. I ask you, whom will you follow? What is his qualifications for his great undertaking? What is God's qualification to be called the Christ, the Messiah, the King of Kings? He should be every way qualified for that great work to which he was designated, that this tender branch should be so watered with the dew of heaven,
Amen.
as to become a strong rod to rule. He have the spirit of wisdom and understanding, of counsel and knowledge, because no man knows the Father but the Son. Matthew 11:27. What he is to make known to the children of man concerning God. So what it's saying is that who knows God better than Jesus Christ, his son? And that Jesus Christ would counsel all man's people, all the humans of the world. Now, if you look at Psalm 72, verse 1-7, we're going to start with verse 1. And it says, give the king your justice, O God, and your righteousness to a king's son. Again, we still talking about Christ. We still talking about Isaiah seeing the coming Messiah. Verse 2 says, may he judge your people with righteousness and your poor with justice. Verse 4, may he defend the cause of the poor of the people, give deliverance to the needy, and crush the oppressors. I say again, may he defend the cause of the poor of the people, and give deliverance to the needy, and crush the oppressors. When David was writing this psalm, he was old, and it seemed that Solomon was now standing for the crown. In other words, Solomon was getting ready to take over his father's business.
Amen.
Amen. Yes.
And we know that when Jesus was 12, he looked at Joseph and Mary and said, I must be about my father's business.
Amen.
And we knew that Joseph was his human father, but his father's business was that of saving souls for God.
Amen.
Now, we go back and we see that this was a prayer for David's successor. It was a prayer for Solomon. It was a prayer that God would give Solomon wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And we know that Solomon was the wisest
That's right.
of all the kings.
That's right. Amen.
So when God talked to Solomon after David has turned over the kingdom, Solomon asked God for two things. God thought Solomon was going to ask for long life and riches, gold and silver, myrrh, frankincense. But Solomon didn't ask for that.
That's right. He did.
Solomon wanted to be more for the people.
Amen.
Therefore, Solomon asked for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Amen.
This was something that God didn't understand. He said, well, why not money? And I'm pretty sure Solomon thought to himself, I got money. Money is a root of evil, and I'm trying to stay on your good side.
Amen.
I want the people to understand that I am for the people of God. And for me being for the people of God, I need to be able to give them the proper judgment. Make sure they stay righteous.
Yes.
And I need to be a good king.
Yes. Amen.
So when we apply it to Solomon, the prayer that David prayed, we say, give him that judgment, O God, and thy righteousness. Make him a man, a king. Make him a good man, a good king. It is the prayer of a father for his child. A dying blessing such as the patriarchs bequeathed to their children. We may apply it to Christ. Because we know that on Calvary, when Christ died, he gave a saying to his Father. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Yes. Yes.
And then he hung his head and gave up the ghost.
Amen.
But we know that when Christ was baptized by John the Baptist, there came a dove ascending from heaven and landed on his shoulder. And a voice from heaven said, this is my beloved Son. Again, a father blessing his son.
Amen.
Now we can talk about the Pharisees and the Sadducees that was running to John the Baptist to get baptized. We can talk about the two men that died on the cross with Jesus. One blaming Jesus and saying, save yourself and us. The other being of wise mind, say, we are being crucified because we did something wrong, and that this man has done nothing amiss. And he asked God to remember him, or asked Christ to remember him when he come into his kingdom. And Christ told him, today you will be with me in paradise.
Amen.
Yes.
Now, how can you fight a man that's got so much power that he can tell you that you will be with me in paradise?
That's right.
Who will you follow? The doors of the church is open for those of you who need to follow someone. Remember, this sermon is naked. Who will you follow? Will you get naked for Jesus? Will you get naked for Christ? The doors of the church is open. Come, if you will, come, and we will pray. If you want to, you can stand where you are, and we'll pray for you.